So, Man of Steel producer David Goyer says Warner Brothers pushed them to compete with Marvel. Yeah, we knew this. Let's read the article though. Although Warner Brothers executives have denied that in the past, writer producer David S. Goyer has now confirmed that the studio was attempting to compete with Marvel Studios. Yeah, you was. Instead of telling some dope ass stories for those 10 years, you competed and you flopped. Completely flopped. Let's continue. Shortly after Marvel Studios struck gold with the launch of Iron Man and the MCU, that was such a dope ass moment. Warner Brothers set the wheels in motion for its own shared DC Comics universe with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, which now initially has totally gone bust in regards to rebooting, debooting, keeping this actor and actress, moving this person over here. It's been a shambles basically for the DC universe. It's been all over the place. Anyways, though there were a few bright spots here and there, the DCU, as it was unofficially dubbed, didn't reach the same levels of success, and there was a perception that the studio rushed in things in an attempt to compete with Marvel. Yeah. Instead of telling some dope ass stories for 10 years, you decided to compete. And your competition has made you go you've tanked. When you consider and you remember that DC is older than Marvel, in comics and in movies, they had a 10-year start. They did nothing, and when they had the opportunity to create a dope ass universe, or not even a shared universe, by just telling a dope ass story, they competed and flopped. They realized, oh my gosh, Marvel are making money, we're not. Let's compete. Completely flopped. Let's continue. Warner Brothers executives often deny that when asked about it during interviews, but writer David S. Goyer has confirmed that this is exactly what Warner Brothers' mindset was while chatting in the Happy Sad Confused podcast. Goyer tells host Josh, I can't pronounce his last name, that he feels Warner Brothers should have developed a standalone Superman sequel instead of rushing into Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Thank you. Like, it was way too rushed. They saw the pot of gold that Marvel had. They're like, we need the money. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine after Marvel made the first Avengers Assemble movie that they would automatically did Infinity War? Can you imagine that? It makes no logical sense. No character development, no essence, no storytelling, no nothing. They could have easily have made us a sequel to Man of Steel 2, continue the character, evolve the character, boom. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice would have made more sense. Or it could have been a different movie. But no, they wanted to compete with Marvel, which is why Dawn of Justice had so much in it. Had Doomsday, introduction of the introduction of the Justice League and everything else. It was way rushed. It was way rushed, man. And he continues and says, I know the pressure we were getting from Warner Brothers, which was we need our MCU. And I was like, let's not run before we walk. Yo, take it nice and slow. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they shot themselves in the foot. They really did within those 10 years. Like I said, they're older than Marvel, comics and movies. They could have easily have done their thing. They didn't. And when they saw Marvel making those millions and billions and the fans were going, yeah, Marvel did it smartly. See, when you strip away Kevin Feige, R.I.P. Stan Lee, the high paid actors and actresses, the studios, the fact that Disney bought out Marvel and they have Marvel Studios. When you remove all of that, the reason Marvel have done what they've done is because initially they've told a dope-ass story for 10 years. And even though, if you're not a fan of Phase 4, Phase 5, where the MCU is currently going, they're still doing better than DC because their foundation has been built. So regardless if you hate Phase 4 or Phase 5, right, you're still going to go watch the movie because you want to see where how it leads up to the Kang dynasty. Because we were hooked within those 10 plus years. I'm hooked. You're hooked. Regardless, it is what it is. Let's continue. The other thing that was difficult at the time was there was this revolving door of executives at Warner Brothers and DC. Every 18 months, someone new would come in. We were just getting whiplash. Every new person was like, we're going to go bigger. So basically, you had no structure, no nothing. The fact that you've got someone in every 18 months means the prior person wasn't doing their job. So you fire that particular person, restructured or whatever, boom. New person, new vision. New person, new vision. You're gone. New person, new vision. Dead. Can you imagine having so many visions for one particular universe? It ain't gonna work. Like, the whole structure of the DC universe is just dead. It's really dead. As much as I'm not a fan of the current phase of Phase 5 of the MCU and where it's going, right? They're still outdoing DC 100% because Marvel built their foundation. DC haven't even built like a foundation. I remember at one point, the person running Warner Brothers at the time had this release that pitched the next 20 movies over the next 10 years. He continued. Where's the movies though? Where's your movies? Nothing happened in those 10 years. Complete and utter shambles. But none of them had been written yet. It was crazy how much architecture was built on air. It's crazy how much architecture was built on air. No foundation, no nothing, just talk. This is not how you build a house. Facts. So, Goya also asked about the decision to have Superman kill General Zod during the climax battle with and whether he anticipated the scene being so controversial. It ain't controversial. Superman has killed. You watch the Christopher Reeve Superman, he killed Zod. The other dude, he broke the man's hand and dashed him. He threw him across, he threw him. Superman has killed. Batman has killed. He said he felt this was the right decision for more grounded story. They were telling, before adding that he wrote a scene with Jonathan Kent taking Clark hunting that would have tied up the Zod moment, but had to due to time constrictions. Regardless if that scene was in or wasn't in the particular movie, Superman kills. People are moaning and complaining. I'm like, he's killed. He has killed people before. Watch the movies. Lastly, the final film of the DCU era will be December's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Hey, with the Amber Heard situation and people walking out of test screenings and apparently due to the fact, this might be a spoiler, maybe not, that Aquaman's child baby dies. And in the comics I was hearing he also gets killed. So it's not really a big thing, but I guess people are a bit sensitive. But prior to that, I heard there was reshoots, people walked out of the test screening and so forth. The fact you got this Amber Heard situation also, I really feel the movie's going to bomb. If it does well, it'll be amazing. If it doesn't do well, hey, it's the whole Amber Heard situation. Amongst the fact they debooted, fired Henry Cavill and all of that, DC fans are not supporting the DC movies because they know it's done and dusted and James Gunn is taking over. Anyways, so it says that Superman Legacy is going to be put into a movie and Peter Safran are going to be taking over. Hopefully they won't repeat the same mistakes. If the James Gunn and Peter Safran universe doesn't work, the DC universe is dead. Sell it. Give it to somebody else, restructure it, fire everyone, whatever it might be. Like, I mean, you gotta do something, man. DC has some very dope-ass characters. It's a shame that the DC universe has gone this particular way. It really is. We're gonna see basically what happens in Aquaman 2, James Gunn's new universe, see where that transpires and kicks off. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Have DC competed with Marvel? Yes, no? What are your thoughts on DC's future? Where did DC go wrong? Let me know in the comments down below. Mwah.